Well, we are back, people. Sorry about that. Apparently, when you install a new display driver, OBS does not keep recording because it doesn't recognize the new display driver. So, now that we are back and you have no idea what I was talking about because you couldn't see anything, let's recap what I was just going over when the screen cut out. So now, as you can see, we're at Adrenaline 18.2.1. And it did install perfectly, forcing the display driver to install from the file like that. So now we can record stuff, and save our benchmarks onto 3D Mark and blah blah blah. So getting back to MSI Afterburner, you definitely should overclock your card. Um, so let's do Cinebench again, and we'll see how it goes this time. I'm going to close it real fast just because it might be having some issues from when I updated my display driver too. So we'll go into the other storage, downloads, Cinebench. And yeah, it just figures, guys, that my last video fucked up. I just can't seem to record videos with this OBS shit without screwing stuff up. It's taking some getting used to. So we're going to run OpenGL again. Click run. And we'll see what she does this time. And hopefully you guys can actually see it this time. Let me double check. Oh, yep, it's on there. Okay, great, wonderful. So running this with the OpenGL triple buffering on makes a huge difference. The last time I just ran it, when OBS was going and screwing up, it was only running at about 50 to 60 frames per second. Doing much, much better this time now that it's actually running with the display driver, the right display driver, I guess I should say. So not bad, 80 to 100 and something frames per second, and this is on completely stock settings. 1286 megahertz, 1750 megahertz. CPU's running at 29 to 30. It is recording, right? Yeah, it says it's recording. All right. Usually uses up more of my CPU than that when it's recording, so I can't complain. Maybe it's because of the new display driver. Maybe it makes it run a lot easier. So we got 99.43 frames per second as our average on stock settings on this RX 570. So let's push it. I'm going to crank it up to my max settings that I know I can run this thing usually at, and just let this thing try to blister through as fast as it can. Just to be perfectly oh shit, what happened? Let's open up our AMD Radeon settings again real quick. Make sure OpenGL triple buffering is on. Yep, okay, good. Close that. Now that we cranked our settings up, let's run it one more time. And it should run. I hope I don't have to restart Cinebench to make it recognize this shit, but it should run at the faster speed this time. So see, now it's going up into the 1400 megahertz, 1450, 1900, and we'll see what kind of frames it puts out this time. Wow, seems like it's doing even worse. Definitely doing worse. But see, it's not even like using the GPU. The GPU is running at 1% to 8%. That's what I don't understand about Cinebench. And then it'll jump up to 90. I think it's because I changed it. I think I need to restart it. I think overclocking while it's open after already doing a benchmark, I think it kind of screws with it. So let's just try that one more time. Let's go back to stock, turn on the auto fans, go to overclock, and crank it up. And then we're going to go and we're going to run Cinebench. So that be a word to the wise. Do your overclocking before you run your program. May not work so well if you do it in the meantime. And let's give it one more shot and see how it does this time. Because if it's still lower, I honestly don't know what to tell you. Went up to 130 that time. But it doesn't seem to be doing any better. Seems to be about the same. See, with OpenGL, I'm not really sure. The Cinebench never seems to really take, again, 1%, 5%. It doesn't take advantage of this graphics card like it should. That's why I don't get why so many people use this thing. It seems to be really inconsistent and not even, testing my graphics card the way that it should be testing it. because this bitch should be running at everything else, every other benchmark I've ever used runs this bitch at 100% the whole time. So we got 98. Okay. So apparently that's just going to be garbage and not allow me to show you what the difference is between the two. So real quick, let's reset everything back to stock. You know what? Let's close this. Run as administrator. Everything's at stock. Great, grand, jolly G, good. So, another benchmark that everybody likes to use, Heaven. Everybody loves Heaven benchmark. And I'm just going to preset it to the extreme settings, which is 1600 by 900, and all this stuff turned up, ultra times 8 anti-aliasing. Let's run this bad boy. And let's see if I can do OBS and a real benchmark recording at the same time. And so you got the anti-aliasing on when it shows the rocks down here in the road instead of it just being a flat path brick road. Alright, so let's hit benchmark and let's actually get a real benchmark score to be able to show you a difference between these two on the extreme settings. See, 100% GPU usage the whole time, the way it should be. I don't understand why Cinebench is such a wide used one, or maybe I just have an old version of Cinebench, but it seems like a pretty shitty ass benchmarking tool for graphics. It seems great for the CPU side, running all those little blocks showing all your cores, but for graphics it seems pretty fucking stupid. So on stock settings, with everything cranked way the fuck up, at extreme benchmarking, we're running around 40 to 50-ish frames a second. Which ain't bad. I mean, everything looks beautiful, right? I'm probably only displaying out to 720p, recording at 1080, but I think my output display is 720. So you are probably, I guess, not seeing it as beautiful as it could be, but it should look nice. And while this is running real quick, I'm gonna hit this bowl because this OBS stuff is pissing me off because I can't figure it out without messing shit up. Oh, so another thing, I do have a future video planned. My buddy is going to buy my Ryzen 5 2400G, like I said, and I'm going to upgrade it to the 2600. So I'm going to do, like a 2 PC build video at once. So I'm pretty much, have him come over and I'm going to upgrade his PC. So I'll show you, if you have an old ass, gaming PC, I think it has the old FX processors with some old ass NVIDIA graphics card in there. And I'm just going to get him a new motherboard. I'm going to sell my processor. I'm going to make sure that motherboard already is Ryzen 2000 ready, goddammit, so that we don't have to order a boot kit. And then I'm just going to get him some new RAM, some 3200 RAM. And his power supply, I tried to look in and see, and I couldn't see the sticker anywhere, so I'm hoping it's at least 300 watts. Because honestly, 300 would be enough to run just a Ryzen 5 by itself. But RAM, new motherboard, and my Ryzen 5 2400G is all he's going to buy. And we're going to step him up a couple notches and get him running some fucking games way better than he is running them now. Like, he can't even go into that Star Wars game that we play and stand in the, like the fleet where all the players are, and without just lagging his ass off. So we're gonna fix that. So I'm gonna show you how to upgrade your old ass PC if you have one. For really only needing to really upgrade 3 parts for the most part, and it's gonna cost them around $250 to $300 depending on what parts we go with exactly and stuff like that. And it's gonna be sick. So I'm gonna pop mine into his, and then I'm gonna drop that 2600 into mine, and we're gonna benchmark the fuck out of that 2600 because I'm gonna overclock the shit out of it. I might even upgrade my all-in-one water cooler. I might go for like a 240 or 280 or some shit like that. But we'll definitely do that here within the next couple weeks because the 2600 comes out April 19th, I believe. And I'm doing everything I can to try and order it early through Amazon or Newegg or whatever, like I did with this 2400. is by far the fastest processor that I've ever owned so far in my life. This thing's just a baby compared to that fucking 6-core. So I can't wait. But yeah, if you guys have plans to upgrade into the new Ryzen 2000 series, or if you're gonna wait for the Ryzen 3000 series, leave me some comments below. Let me know what you're into. I just want to talk to people about this stuff. I have no friends that are really into tech. My buddy is like the closest thing, and every time I talk to him about it, he just looks at me with this, dumb face, like, dude, I have no idea what any of those numbers mean or what any of that shit is. So if you want to just talk, about PC shit and what parts you're getting, or if you want some recommendations, feel free, leave some comments below. Let me know. I'm down to chat. All right, so overall score, frames per second at 56.9 and 1434. So let's remember that score of 1434. Damn, that minimum dropped down to 25.1. That was super low, but that was probably in between a scene. That shit usually happens in between scenes when you're on that high of a setting. So 1434. Close. Escape. And close. So let's get MSI Afterburner back up here. And let me crank this bad boy up. Now, that being said, my highest setting that I know I can run shit at, Heaven Benchmark doesn't like these settings. It's too much for it, apparently. So I need to turn it down about 50 megahertz on my core clock. Maybe turn down my power limit a little bit as well. And my core voltage down as well. So that I'm not going to fry and make this thing crash while I'm trying to record. So let's hope for that, guys. I really hope I don't crash this thing while I'm recording this video and have to make a part 3. So let's open Heaven Benchmark again and run this bitch in the extreme settings. And we'll see what kind of scores we get. What was it, 1434? Let's see what we get this time. Alright, so give it a second to start up like I did last time and load everything, a little bit. And let's hit benchmark. Alright, so you can see it up here running at 1400 megahertz, 1900 megahertz. Using 100% of that GPU the whole time. Pulling 134 watts right now, too. Man, when I run those Time Spy and like Fire Strike or whatever, those benchmarks, this chip my card gets so fucking hot. I mean, it really pushes it to its fucking limits. I've seen it draw like 170 watts at one point, over like 173, I think is the highest I've ever seen it draw. And this bitch gets so warm so quick. But it never thermal throttles. I mean, it never really gets above 70 some degrees. I have my fan speed curve to set, the way I like it for mining, and it works pretty well for gaming too. But it's never got up to anywhere near 90. I think mid 70s is the highest it's ever got, even below 170 watts. So I can't complain there. So while I'm looking at this, and I do see it running, it shows the numbers here that it's running at a faster rate. I'm just wondering if having OBS Studio recording is fucking with this overclock, because it doesn't seem like the numbers are all that much higher for frames per second. I guess we'll see once it gets to the very end score. Probably every time I talk, it's a little affected too. Oh, I saw a little artifact. It starts to artifact. I'm gonna try and hit escape real quick before it actually crashes and blue screens on me. But yeah, I can run all the newer generation benchmarks, at a higher overclock than this with no issues. But this benchmark is fucking testy, man. It does not like to be pushed to the limit. It doesn't like my car being pushed to the limit, apparently. I mean, we're sitting at 62 degrees. The fan speeds are only at 65%. So, I don't know. I don't know what its problem is with, a higher overclock. But it's something to keep in mind when you're doing your overclocking. Some games, some programs, some, different and something else. So you might have to save some different profiles for different. Oh, saw a little hiccup there. You might have to save some different profiles for some different things based on which game and application you plan on doing. I know my two biggest differences in my profiles. I have one set for I have two set for mining and then one set for gaming. And I have to have two for mining because it doesn't like to be undervolted and overclocked quickly, apparently. Otherwise, it fucking crashes on me every single time. I have to drop my core voltage by like 150, and then maybe step it down to 200. Otherwise, it will black screen or blue screen on me every single fucking time. What I found the trick is to get it to sit at like 950 megavolts. Yeah, 950 megavolts. That's where it likes to be. Oh, I thought it crashed. Now I forgot. It just sits here for a second and turns the lights. So let's see what kind of score we come up with. 1539. Okay, so we did gain about 100 points. Last one was like, what, 1430 something? We had 1539, so we did get about 100 points. That's not bad. Better frames per second, higher max frames, a little bit better minimum frame, but again, that's in between, scenes and shit like that, so that doesn't really count. But so there you go. That's just a somewhat show of what you can gain in overclocking. Now, this thing would probably run again better, and I would get better gains and better performance if I wasn't recording at the same time. That's limiting what this thing can do. Capturing the screen and recording it onto the solid state drive at the same time is going to limit everything I do. But overclocking is the way to go. There's lots of people out there with lots of videos on how to overclock your shit. And MSI Afterburner is just a super, super stupid, simple program to use to achieve that. So, with that being said, I'm going to try and go run one of the super demanding benchmarks. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to turn this pitch back down because recording at the same time, I'm not sure what that's going to do to this thing. So let's go down around here. And let's go and try and run 3D Mark. And see if we can record and run one of these at the same time. Because these are much newer benchmarks and they demand some serious fucking GPU power to even get good frames. Like, I don't get good frames for the most part in these, even with my RX 570, because I have the trial version, so everything is set to like extreme, like ultra settings, and I'm averaging like what 20 to 30 frames, I think, for the most part on these things. But it looks clean. There's no glitching or stuttering or anything like that, which is great. But holy shit, it puts up punishing on your frames per second. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see how it does, running a super hard ass benchmark and recording at the same time. Make sure it detects your shit. Time Spy is rough. I mean, real rough. But Fire Strike is what really puts the wattage to my fucking thing, and it gets it the hottest out of anything else that I've done. So we will do Time Spy, since that's the DirectX 12 benchmark for gaming PCs, and we'll just do run. And wish me luck if this crashes. I guess that'll pretty much just be the end of this. You've seen that you can definitely get some gains on overclocking in your games and your frames per second, stuff like that. But the display drivers for whether it be AMD or NVIDIA, like I said, good luck. Try to find the newest one you can, where you can get the software that comes along with it, so that you can at least go into the software and like I was doing, put on OpenGL triple buffering and being able to, if you plan on mining, you definitely got to get it. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to upgrade my PC in 2 weeks, because this 2400G is awesome and it's done great. And really, pretty much every game that I play, I've never maxed out the 2400G. It's never gone to 100%, CPU usage in any game that I play, or any of these benchmarks, honestly. It has more than enough power to 100% without GeForce 6-core processor, and I'm still a couple hundred points off from being able to match them. Um, but yeah, man, if you got a Ryzen 5 2400G and you've overclocked that bitch around 4.1, please download this free benchmarking software on Steam and get the fuck up here and throw some scores up there, man. Let's compete. I love it. I won't have much longer to try and come back and beat you once I sell this to my buddy. So as you can see, 20-ish frames per second to 30-ish frames per second. Not great, but it's smooth. I'm hoping you're seeing it smooth too, since I'm only displaying this out at 30 frames a second now. It shouldn't be trying to work very hard. But as you can see up here in the top, CPU is running at about 20%, and the graphics card is running at 100%. So there's no limitation by my CPU whatsoever. I mean, especially at 4.1, it barely has to do anything to process this and run this. Now, once we get into the CPU benchmarking side of it, you'll see it crank the fuck up to 90 and 100% because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to run at 100% as hard as it can with no graphics integration in it, or graphics helping it, just pure CPU. And that's always fun to see. It starts off, I think, at around like 50 or 40 frames per second, and then as it gets farther in, it makes it harder and harder. It drops down to about, I think, 15 or 14 frames per second on just the CPU. But that's where my little baby shines at 4.1. So I'm noticing a little bit of a difference here. There's definitely some choppiness on this one compared to when I've ran this without recording at the same time. But it still looks pretty nice. I mean, it looks beautiful, but obviously this would be choppy as shit if this was a real game, at these kind of settings and this kind of beautiful detail going on. Not a synthetic benchmark. But it's not a slideshow by any standard. But once, when I do play games, and I guess this is going to start being a long video, which I don't really give a shit about. My videos are long. Um, I'm just here to hang out, make videos, and help people. Once I get into games, I get great frames per second for the most part, even when I turn shit up into ultra. Like, unfortunately, my monitor is only 60 hertz at 1080p, so I've tried to crank Overwatch up to the highest possible settings that Overwatch can even go to try and see if I can get it below 60 frames per second, and I can't. It just sits steady at 60 frames per second. And even if I switch it off of display-based frames per second, it still just sits at 60 frames per second. It won't go above 60 or below 60, no matter what I change the settings to. So Overwatch is disappointing, because I was hoping to really crank the fuck out of it on that one. But Counter-Strike, I don't know, 100 to 200 and something frames per second at ultra settings, on 1080. Oh no, I would say, don't tell me it crashed. Good, it made it through it. Whew. Oh, it did crash. It crashed right there at the end on the CPU side because my fucking OBS Studio is recording at the same time. Shit. So we didn't get a score. Son of a bitch, it crashed on the CPU score. Fuck. Alright, well, anyways. So 3898 is what I got on that graphics score while recording at the same time. That's not that great. But we can go to compare results online. It says it's only available in the advanced ones, but that's not true. So what we can do is search. Go to results. Times by regular. Advanced search. Ryzen 5. Ryzen. God, I cannot type. Ryzen 5. 2400G. Number of GPUs, 1, because I'm only running with one GPU, and people have done crossfire and all that shit with it too. And search. And here you can see 2400G with a 1080 Ti. 1080 Ti, 1080 Ti, 1080 Ti. So their scores are crushing mine. And the names are up here: Busemia, Godfire, blah blah blah. So as we scroll down, you will come across one of mine, I believe, if it's still up here. There I am, sitting at 4,267. I believe that's the first one. I believe that's the. I could have sworn I had a 44, but maybe it didn't get validated because it was on the old ones. So, anyways, 4267 I believe is my best one on here. I've got a couple: 4178, 4170. As I was overclocking and testing some different settings and shit, I got on here. But so you can see all my CPU scores are at 41 megahertz for the most part, 4100, 4.1 gigs. So let's check out my 4267 details and result details here, detailed scores. So right here, CPU score 4,446, graphics score 4,237. Those are my two best scores I think that I've gotten. Even though I've gotten a better graphics score before with a weaker CPU score, but I'm better than 41% of most PCs out there with this score, and it's not bad. So 4446 is what you have to beat with your Ryzen 5 2400G if you want to get on my level. Get on my level, ho. So if we go back, 4446. Let's see if anybody on here, most of these people didn't even overclock their shit. Like here we go, this guy's got 3950. Result details, detailed. His CPU score was 3234. Like pathetic. Pathetic as shit. 3234 at 3.9. Not even close to being on my level. Is there anybody else up in the fours? 3.9, 3. Oh, he's at 4. Details. And result details. Detailed score. 4412. What was I? 4446. So again, a little bit above him as well too. Anybody else? Anybody else at my level? It's a call out. I'm calling all you ninjas out with the Ryzen 5 2400Gs. Ooh, he's got 4. Oh, is that the same one that I just checked? I don't know. We'll find out in a second. 4264. Nope. Nope. Not on my level. Let's see. So here I am at 41. And I'm not even sure if this is my highest one, to be honest. I might need to go check the other ones real quick, because this might not be my highest CPU score. 4446. Let's just see real quick. 4267. So 4446 was my highest. Yeah, see, that one was only 4192. Weak sauce, bro. And then this one, 417. Weak sauce, bro. So 4446. That's, I believe, the highest one around. So I'm waiting for somebody to beat me on that one. And then if you put in the RX 570 and you try to type it in, it's pretty much just me and Night of Gloaming. But he's way down there. He's running at stock speeds, 1268, 36. Night of Gloaming, if you're watching, bro, overclock that bad boy. Let's compete on this thing. Get up around 4200. But yeah, guys, I love that stuff. Love the graphics testing and all that kind of stuff. Not too shabby at all. Got a bunch of random shit running now. Oh, I can't close that. Oh, yeah, I can because we're not doing 3D Mark anymore. So we'll close 3D Mark. And I guess really the only other thing I could do would be to show you some frames per second in a game. So we can go into, like, I've got Counter-Strike, Rust. Rust puts a punishing on some frames as well, too. That's a really demanding-ass game. World of Warships is honestly super easy to run. Doom is awesome because of the Vulkan engine, built in with our stuff. And Doom runs extremely well on ultra settings. And I got nothing to complain about there, but I guess we'll do Counter-Strike just to show you what kind of FPS, you first-person shooters. What kind of frames per second you first-person shooters can expect to have if you add a graphics card onto your 2400G? Well, at least the RX 570. So let's see if we can try and pull this up. And we'll see what happens.
Let's roll.
4%. It's not really a good indication of your frames. Ooh, 280.
There's like no one can be. There's a few people.
Alright, so we're in the game. 120 frames per second. Let's get some action. Who's fighting? Who's fighting who? So we're in about 200 frames per second now. And just to show you, options, settings. I have this been turned up to texture detail.
Alright, good luck.
Anti-aliasing at 8 times.
Now we lost it. GG.
Terrorists win.
Alright, time to play Far Cry 3. Oh, whoa, sealed graffiti. I'm glad I ranked up for that.
Discard whatever the fuck I just clicked. Oh, and we're out of that game. So let's see what happens now that I can actually shoot some people. I haven't played this shit in I don't know, a couple weeks now. So
This is what we train for.
you guys keep an eye out. I'll try and shoot you. Flash me. Oh.
Throwing fire.
Let's get to some real action. Alright, just play a couple shots. Try something else out.
Let's get this done. Throwing fire. Grenade out. Bomb has been planted.
Fuck. God, I suck at this game. Oh, got me right. Alright, so as you can
Terrorists win.
settings, for the most part, super high settings. Maybe not ultra. huge difference on graphics, how good the game looks. So yeah, it looks like it's still recording and everything. So we're doing pretty good. I guess we could go, yeah, do Rust. Rust takes forever though. Let's just do World of Warships because this game's pretty cool. I watched what's his name? Tech Deals, the English Tech Deals guy, I should say. The American Tech Deals guy, it seems like. I watch him all the time, and he plays this, and so does Fem. And I was like, all right, this game looks fucking awesome. I got to give it a shot, and it's pretty damn cool. I'm just realizing that it's gonna take a long, long, long ass time to be able to upgrade all their ships, buy new ships, and shit. So don't know how far it's gonna take. It's pretty sweet. Come on. It's actually a game because it's not like anything's running hard. 9%, 0%. So I just want you to spend frame rate fix. Okay, maybe I'm having a frame rate problem. I'm running at 74 frames per second, and I think I have these cranked up pretty high as well too. So very high, high, times 16, maximum, very high, medium, high, 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 high. You know, everything's cranked the fuck up in this. That's what you should probably get. That's pretty good. It's running at, you know, even using the GPU, which is cool. Let's see what we can do. Some kind of frames to get while we're shooting at bitches. But yeah, I can't wait to get the 2600, run some CPU benchmarks on that bitch. And then I'm definitely going to have to get a faster graphics card in the future. Because if this thing isn't bottlenecked by the 2400G, it really is not going to be bottlenecked by a fucking 6-core 12-thread processor. Sorry, coffee. Getting me. Just like fixed at 75 frames per second. Pretty sure this isn't displaying into. It's at 1280 by 720. What the fuck? Why the fuck is it on 1280 by 720? That's super fucking weird. Why doesn't it have 1080p? I mean, 1600 by 900 is pretty similar. As far as I understand, isn't it? Not sure. How does that look on OBS? It looks clear, I guess. The detail of shit looks really nice, right? Steam ahead, motherfuckers. Do I see anything?
Enemy force detected.
So I'm gonna start slowing down. Close. trying to pull around from the backside. Full steam ahead to fuck this motherfucker up. What's he shooting at? What the fuck does he think he's shooting at? What the fuck does he think he is? Yeah, bitch. What you gonna fucking do now? Oh, he's moving. He's moving. Fuck this guy. Yeah, what you gonna do now, bitch?
Enemy cruiser founder.
So the Ryzen 5 2400G does excellent with most shit that you can throw at it. Pretty much everything that I've thrown at it. Overwatch, I mean, like I said, I've cranked it to the top of the line settings that I can for the most part, and it just will not go below 60 frames per second. Like locked in. Let's take a look and see if I can show you. One thing I need to check, I guess, real quick would be on-screen properties. Ooh, see. I don't know if it'll allow me to do the overlay. So let's turn on Overwatch overlay. And there we go. That'll pop Overwatch up. And it allows my MSI Afterburner stats to show through too. So turn off the on-screen and just alright, so. Well, and it crashed. It does that sometimes. I'm not sure why it did it that time. Sorry, hold on. I think I hit something. I think I hit something that times. Steam still open? Yeah, let's close Steam. Alright. Let me switch over to Overwatch. Overwatch is going to be displayed on top. Hit play. Let the game run real quick. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so it jumps up to 70 frames per second every once in a while, which I'm not entirely sure why. It doesn't ever. So let's go play an arcade real quick. Ooh, no limit heroes. That's always fun. Let's do deathmatch loads quickly so I can show this to you quickly. See, I mean, it's locked at 60 frames per second. And I go back, and I go to options. So video, 1080, graphics quality, epic. Everything's set to epic. These don't really matter for the most part, but if you open your advanced, these are the advanced settings, you know, for the epic settings. And pretty much everything is cranked the fuck up to ultra and epic and whatever else I can set it at. You know, it all came preset like that. I don't care about screenshot quality, that doesn't matter to me, but everything else, as high as it gets, 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 high as it gets. And this thing just eats it, no problem. Okay, people around. And as always, it's taking forever to find one simple fucking game like it always does. That's what kills me with Overwatch. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people playing it somehow, but there's never any games available to fucking join in less than 2 to 3 minutes. Fix your shit, Overwatch. There we go. We're fucking cooking now, huh?
Welcome to Hollywood. Prepare for battle.
This is deathmatch.
Select your hero.
I suck with Genji, but let's go Genji. I'm trying to get better with him, but I suck with him.
3, 2, one. Fight.
身を捨てても料理は捨てず
Doesn't seem to stay pretty locked at 60 seconds.
その程度か
God damn, they're all over the fucking place. Holy shit. You're way better with Genji than I am.
もう一戦願おう
Oh shit, wrong button. Whoa. Got him. Yeah, motherfucker. Alright, put me right back in the same building with this motherfucker.
Enemy needs 15 kills to win.
早きこの風のごとく
Oh, almost got away. God damn it. Suck it.
戦いは終わらん
Échappe à mon regard.
Woo! Oh, bitch. Didn't see her. That's why I was looking for something.
千里の道は一足ずつ運ばない
Ah.
Enemy needs 10 kills to win.
Damn it. Whoa, fuck. God, I suck at this game.
I return to the fight
And just, of course, he used an ultimate to just kill fucking me. No way. Thank you.
本気を見せてみろ
You fucking Oh my god, and he fucking hits me with it. Get the fuck out of here. God, I see this one.
我が魂はまだ燃えておる
Fucking suck. Fucking jump. Oh, you think you're good because you spray paint if you stun somebody and then one button press? Oh, you are so good, man. You better keep pressing that fucking little spray. Damn, that makes you good, man.
Try me
Oh, you fucking whore. Oh, how did that not fucking kill her? Oh, and it's not there! No! No! Shit! Oh, it's bad. Fuck, I suck. I just panic once I get in the corner and I'm low on health.
Oni no KO
No, I did not mean to press that button! Fuck. Fuck. Dude. God, I hate this fucking game. Oh, I gotta reload. Fuck. Ah, give me a fucking break, you fucking chode rat. See, this one I don't have my mic activated. Because shit all the time. Fuck, it's fuck. Oh my god, I couldn't fucking dash fast enough, motherfucker. Fuck that fucking kid.
Enemy needs 5 kills to win.
Whore. zombies. Fire in the hole! Yeah, he dies in jungle. Fucking idiot. God, I suck at this fucking game.
Enemy needs 4 kills to win.
Oh my god, what a fucking tool! Fuck!
もう一戦願おう
I stunned you, and then I pressed my right button, and it killed you automatically because I'm that good. That good. That good. I'm just so fucking good at this fucking game. Come here, faggot. Fucking shoot me, faggot. Shit, die, bitch. Fuck! I fucking hate Junkrat. I'm good. God damn, I hate him. He's such a fucking shit.
Enemy needs 2
Here he
kills.
comes. You know, he can't fucking make shots. I just suck. Oh my god. Somebody else get the kill after I do 90% of the fucking shit.
Enemy needs 1 kill.
My ultimate
Oh my
is
god, he
charged.
fucking stole the fucking kill. What the fuck?
Come on.
Oh my god. I suck so
Play
bad.
of the
But yeah,
game.
as you see, it plays perfect at the ultra settings.
Double. Triple kill.
Okay, lowest in the fucking game. Yeah, that's why I don't play Genji. I'm trying to get better, but I fucking suck. So, other than that, guys, hope this video helped you out. Hope you hung out, watch me suck at video games and stuff like that. Yeah, comment below, guys. You know, let me know what your ideas are, what you're upgrading to. If you got any questions, if you can't figure something out, I'm here. Hit the like, please. You know, I appreciate it if you hit the like button. Yeah, I'm trying to get, you know, more videos out there and up and coming in the YouTube world, so the likes do help. If you dislike the video, fucking hit the dislike. I don't give a shit. Just let me know. Other than that, guys, I will see you pretty soon. Definitely within 2 weeks when I get that 2600. But I wish you all luck. I hope your 2400 Gs are crushing shit. And if you get any questions for like on mining with an RX 570, you know, I can answer quite a few of those as well too. So here's looking at you. See you next time.